What are Jim's thoughts on Sting's WWE run? Now, obviously, that would have been, well past when you were doing anything with the company, but he was sort of the last holdout. For years and years, the franchise player for WCW. For him to come over, it's a big deal. They pair him with Triple H. They do a bit of an NWO DX thing that sort of feels like it's out of left field. And then in the end, Sting didn't get his hand raised. What'd you think?
I was underwhelmed by Sting's WWE run. I thought that he should have come in guns a-blazing and had to give the fans a chance to tap into his passion and his emotions. He was a big star. I don't think he was ever given the credit in WWE for being the star that he was. And many will say, speculate that it may have been because, the WWE didn't create Sting. They didn't give him his name. They didn't give him his persona, nothing. And that if that was a factor, I hope it wasn't, but if it was, it's embarrassing. But I thought it was underwhelming. I thought we could have done a lot more of that situation. And then you never know when you get injured or you're at that stage of life where injuries are more prominent, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt and we can't finish our business. I was very disappointed in Sting's run. He deserved better. Sting deserved better than he got in WWE, but I'm sure got paid very, very well. But I wish he would have had more accolades and that feel that I'm still somebody. And I'm sure he may have felt that way. I just felt like we under-delivered on how we presented him. And, boy, we wanted him for a long time. And finally when it happened, I thought it was a great day. And then you bring somebody in like that, you go with them. But there was that caveat. He's not our guy.
Right.
And I think that had an adverse effect.
Dave Gray writes in, what's your best wrestling memory in Tennessee, from Memphis to the Tri-Cities, whether it's an in-ring moment or a particular night out with the guys? Anything stick out in your Tennessee days?
We had some, in the Attitude Era, we had some great Monday Night Raws there at the big arena there in Nashville. Packed.
I think Big Show debuted in Memphis.
Might have.
Might be wrong on that.
No, you might be right. And when I go to Memphis, my memories are, Lawler and I going out and eating barbecue.
Right.
Because we both are, like to eat barbecue. He's got two restaurants there on Beale Street and one in Germantown now. And I've been to both of them and enjoyed it all. The food's great. I think my sauce is better, but that's just me. My ego against his ego. But the Nashville Raws are pretty impressive. The last Flair Steamboat match of their 3-match trilogy was in Nashville and at the Old Municipal Auditorium. And that was the big angle shot after Flair won the match. He had the altercation with Terry Funk, which started their story, and where Terry put Rick on a table and gave him a pile driver through a table. I had never seen that. I don't know that had occurred a lot. It certainly had not occurred on our television. So it was a new move. It was dangerous as hell. It was risky. It was that outlaw Terry Funk taking advantage of the nature. Just been a great match with Steamboat. He was weakened. All that was good stuff. But that's probably one of the most memorable things. And the other thing on that night that I remember was that we had the Oak Ridge Boys there.
Yeah.
And we didn't need them.
Yeah.
I think sometimes wrestling fans want to come see wrestling, believe it or not. And not all, I don't know why. It was Nashville.
Well, it was nicknamed the Music City Showdown, and they wanted to do what they could sort of make it local. But yeah, I'm with you. It wasn't necessary. In hindsight, that match still stands up.
I mean, how many times can you hear them sing Elvira?
Right.
Papa Mau Mau.
Big Guns, Justin Andrews writes in, what is your favorite non-JR brand of barbecue sauce? So if you had to pick a second or first runner up behind your own sauce, is there a go-to?
Yeah. I like Sweet Baby Ray's. Does a nice job. I'm partial to my own, obviously, but Sweet Baby Ray's is store-bought is good. There's a place in Oklahoma in Ponca City that makes barbecue sauce called Head Country. And the guy's name is Head.
I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Al Snow here or oral sex, Conrad, by the way.
No, I'm a fat guy. I like barbecue sauce.
Head Country.
Yeah.
HEAD Country. Ponca City, Oklahoma. They ship. They're very good. Really, really good. But if just a commercial brand that's mass distributed, probably Sweet Baby Ray's.
Let's do another question here from Justin. He says, now that AEW has a pretty full roster, what are they looking for in terms of future acquisitions? I know that's not necessarily your lane. You're not talent relations here, but you have your ear to the railroad track a little bit. Do you think they have a certain flavor right now?
Yeah, size. Athletic big guys. Guys, I don't know who all signed. I know that I'm a big fan of Lance Archer. I'm a big fan of Jeff Cobb. I'm a big fan of the former Harper in WWE.
Brody Lee, I think.
Yeah,
is
his name going to be
name.
his working name. Good talents. Guys like that have ability that we all can see, that have not been given the total opportunity to become a global star with a spotlight on them. I like those kind of guys because all those guys I just mentioned have athletic backgrounds. So that means to me that since a kid, they've been competitive. That's important. And because this business is not easy. So finding athletes to become pro wrestlers is not a bad formula. It worked for generations in our country. Since Bronco Nagurski, who's in the NFL Hall of Fame, quit playing football in the height of his career, quit the NFL to wrestle full time because he made more money wrestling at that point. So you wouldn't do that today. But that was an interesting thing. So I don't know. I lost my spot. Where were you?
Well, we were talking about what AEW was looking for.
Oh yeah,
and
the athletic big men.
Yeah,
because and specifically, if you want to fine tune that, maybe athletic big heels.
Right.
We've got a great roster of baby faces. None of them are giants. That means nothing. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson were not giants, but they were giants in the ring. They drew money. People loved them, and I think that's where we find the young bucks. Kenny Omega's a unique dude. He's in a team thing now with Hangman Page. That hopefully will give Hangman Page the rub that he needs to elevate his game. And then, of course, you got Cody with all that great heritage and the dreams, the grandson of a plumber. So we need heels, big heels. And that we need heels on our roster now that we have to evolve and develop. We may have too many baby faces by last count. Mm-hmm. I might be wrong there, too. That's just me. But I think athletic big men is something that they're interested in finding.
So this feels like a great place to sidebar. You and I haven't talked about this, but our great friend of the show, Jim Cornette, has been very, very critical of AEW, and he's even started to, I think, occasionally refer to the promotion as all petite wrestling, knocking the size of the performers. And a few weeks ago, I saw his co-host send a tweet out that he was about to post a new episode of himself and Jim Cornette. And you replied something like, are you going to gut and quarter AEW again, WTF? What's your take on, I'm sure you've heard some of Corny's criticisms. Have you guys spoken in real life? Do you just hear the show and see the social media feedback, or where are you with Corny these days on AEW?
We're still friends. We've never agreed on all kinds of things because he's the kind of guy that very rarely has a compromising moment. He's very set in his ways. He knows what he likes. He knows how wrestling, in his view, should be positioned. And I'm not disagreeing with that. It's just that sometimes the message gets a little bit, I think, coarse, very overly generalized. We know what we have. We know what we need. I think basically Corny's pointing out the obvious. He's not provided any information that I've seen that's new and revolutionary. It's the same thing many of us say behind the scenes. There are things we need to do, but look, these kids are working their ass off, Conrad, and they're not all giants. But you go back and look, your father-in-law, Ric Flair's not a giant.
No.
He did pretty good in his career. He might be 6 feet. He might be, right?
Yeah, I think he's probably realistically 5'10" or 5'11".
Yeah. Buddy Rogers was 5'8" or 9.
That's right.
Jim Londos was 5'6". You go back in all these years, every generation, some of the biggest, Vern Gagne was 6 feet.
Well, I mean, let's not forget the two biggest draws in pay-per-view for the last, 5 or 6 years, Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor. How tall are those dudes?
Yeah.
How big are those guys?
Yep.
And, drawing money is different. And I think, there's been a lot of armchair quarterbacking about AEW, which I think is a little weird that, if you're a real wrestling fan, why would you want anybody to go out of business or not do well?
Right.
I mean, I know you're wearing the AEW jersey, but you still want Ring of Honor to do well and
Absolutely.
Impact to do well. And it's better that everybody does well.
NWA Pro, I want those guys to do well. NWA, like you said, all of them.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.